We welcome you in to the Pie Factory in historic downtown Jasper tonight. Coach's Corner, featuring the Dora Bulldogs, are our special guest tonight. Brian Held alongside Brett Elmore. Hey, Brian, it's hard to believe, but here we are. We're starting the playoffs right in the face.
Yeah, I know. It just seems like it was just a few weeks ago when it's actually been 11 that we were up here on the second level of Pie Factory hosting our first show of the week. Well, that's long gone. Here we are in the postseason.
Yeah, we're already in the postseason, and the postseason party begins. We'll get with the Dora Bulldogs here in just a few minutes, but let's recap the final week of the regular season. Of course, the Thursday night game, Fogville defeats Winston County 30-20.
That's still unbelievable. It was
Yeah.
a crazy game.
Cordova, they defeat Carver 41-18. Good to see Cordova get that win.
Yeah, end the season 5-5 and send their seniors out and feeling good.
Carbon Hill, they drop one to Oak Grove 47-18.
Yeah, Oak Grove's in that region with Dora, Cordova, Northside, Haleyville, playing that talent week in and week out shows, and they had a big victory over Carbon Hill.
On Friday night, the Jasper Vikings dropped one to Homewood. The Patriots came into town 38-20 was the final.
I think it was a pretty good showing for Jasper, all things considered. And look, this is a Homewood team that's 6A. They're ranked, and Jasper was able to keep it at least competitive. It was no blowout.
The Meek Tigers continue to dominate. They defeat Oakman 48-22.
Yeah, Meek ends its first perfect season. They're 10-0. Of course, region champions. Been a stellar year.
The Lynn Bears defeat Hubbardville 44-14. Coach Hastings has that crew in good shape entering the playoffs.
Yeah, and they picked up a ranking. First time of the year. They're number 10 and looking great.
Yeah, they deserve that. Addison defeats Shoal Christian 56-0.
Yeah, that was kind of taking care of business. We saw that, and Addison's held it up well.
70 Christian defeats Barry 53-18.
Another young team that gets to finish the year 5-5. Congratulations for the Eagles.
And the Dora Bulldogs pick up a big win over St. Clair County 34-14.
Yep, getting to sew up business before they go into the playoffs. Great way to do it at home.
All right, we're going to take our first break of the night. When we come back, we'll have Coach Chavis Williams, the head football coach of the Dora Bulldogs, on with us, along with Cole Chapman, a senior, and Josh Williams, a junior, joining us here at the Pie Factory. We're upstairs, and they'll have live music tonight starting at 7:30 from Mark Palmer. If you're looking for a place to watch the ball games tonight, we have the World Series. We also have Thursday night pro football. The Eagles are playing tonight. They'll have those on the big screens, and a lot to enjoy here at the Pie Factory. We'll take a break. 2 minutes, back with the Dora Bulldogs in a moment.
We're
Welcome back into the Pie Factory in historic downtown Jasper. Brett Elmore, Brian Hell, and the head football coach of the Dora Bulldogs, Coach Chavis Williams, joins us now. Coach, good to see you, sir.
Nice to be out tonight. What a great venue. Like you said, we're excited what these guys did up to this point. We're always glad what you guys do for high school football in this area. And it don't go unnoticed, man. I tell you what, it's a big deal, and we appreciate everything you guys do.
Well, we appreciate you, Coach. We like to do it for the coaches and the students and the fans. But let's get to Dora football. Congratulations. I mean, a great season. You're in the postseason now. And talk about the season as a whole, just kind of the ups and downs, and finally winning the region.
Well, everybody call it ups and downs, but we just call it, development. Each coach say it, and we really try to see it through. And this group is really special because they went to work, all the way from the end of last year. It left a sour taste in our mouth. We felt like we let some games slip away from us, and that was the whole message this offseason about finishing, finishing the year out. We no matter how you start, you got to finish. But we beefed our schedule up because we knew what we had. We knew the potential we had. And, sometimes that potential doesn't, peak out or for whatever reason, in inner problems or injuries or whatever. And but these guys have really, really bought into what we have been trying to teach them. And we started out the year with Winfield and Aniana. What more can I say about that? Aniana, runner-up last year, Winfield, third round, lost to the eventual state champion Piedmont. So, you look at those two names, and also you want to give our younger guys, a look at what a established program look like and how it's supposed to look, and the way they carry themselves on the field and off the field. And those are two-class programs, right before we get into region play. And we switched regions over, too. I thought the region we left was really, really competitive. And, you really didn't know a lot about these teams going into the year. Of course, we go in there with Cordova and Corner, and that makes that rivalry even much bigger. I hate playing them in the region and rivalry game. That's a lot of emotion going into that. But, overall, the region, the first two games is what set us up to win the Cordova game after the bye week and the Northside game. The Corner game, hats off to them. Them guys are much improved from a year ago, and, they kind of gave it to us, But I tell this story, and the kids know this, that from the second half of that game when we went down 21-0 after we threw a pick six, these guys could have easily laid over, and quit. But the fight that they had, I knew that if we can get it all together, we were going to be able to have a chance to win out. And that was the message. We wanted to win out. And they set goals before the year, man. They set goals to, host the first round of the playoffs. But I can't sit up here and say that, Coach Justin Blevins and Jason Tittle and Braxton Whitlow and those guys on offense, they really went to work that bye week and got us in the situation where these kids can be successful and just grow for the offensive line. I love my coaching staff. I think I got the best coaching staff in the state. Them guys are very loyal. And these guys that, they don't get the recognition, the Garrett Hoaglands of the world, who does a lot of blocking, plays a lot of positions. This guy Cole Chapman that does a lot of stuff behind the scenes that don't get the recognition. But to sum up the season, finishing out 5 games, 5 wins, going 4-1 at home, winning games. Every game after the bye week to us was an elimination game. So really proud of the success of this team. And it doesn't stop here. We reset 0. We 0-0 now, so we're looking forward to the playoffs. We know we're going to get everybody's best shot.
Cole, I didn't get a chance to speak with you yesterday, but as one of the top leaders on the defense, I got to ask, I had a chance to see you guys the first half against Winfield, and then I got to see you guys against Curry and against Hamilton. And the improvement that I saw was just dynamic, and you've obviously carried that off against big-time opponents such as Northside, such as Haleyville, such as Cordova. You guys carried it on. Has improvement really been one of the keys for you all this year?
Yeah. Every week we've developed and gotten better, not only on defense but the offense too. And we kind of found a groove and just kept getting better, and it's showed.
Excellent.
Coach, of course, playoff time's coming up, but you started out the season 2-3, I think. You got into that bye week, and then it seemed like everything just came together for you. Cordova, Hamilton, Northside, Oak Grove, St. Clair County, all wins. What did you learn from the first half of the season, and then going into that bye week, and what did that mean to you as far as the development there in the bye week to get you ready for the second half of the season?
That's a good question, excellent question. And you go into every year, new team, new players and new positions. We lost 16 seniors a year ago, so coaching staff, you go into a season knowing what you think your team gonna look like, and then you have to adjust from there. I think that's what good coaches do, and not calling myself a good coach by no means, but good programs, but and also a lot of youth. There's no substitution for a game experience. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like through the first 5 games, we had our good plays and bad plays, and that bye week right in the middle, I really like it there for the simple fact of, everybody has tendencies, and we were very strong on some tendencies through the first 5 games, so we were able to adjust, and kind of break some tendencies, offense, defensively, and move some guys around. Josh, we moved him in the slot, which helped us out. He was on the outside, so we can motion him. They can't double cover him, and things like that, and getting Jamarcus and Ty Clayton out in space, and settling the game down for Sean Pryor, not putting so much load on him to where we feel like we got pretty good athletes. Just getting them the ball in space has been an advantage for us. So we definitely got better after the first 5 games, and that's why it's a whole season, and that's why, you can't panic after a win or a loss. It's all about the next game, the next approach, the next challenge in front of you. But we really like what we came out of that bye week.
Talk about the defensive side of the football. I think the most points you allowed in the second half of the season was 22. And your offense has really come alive there as well. Just talk about maybe the defense, because sometimes they don't get a whole lot of credit, but Holden Hamilton to 8 points, Northside, which was ranked, to basically 2 touchdowns. Defense playing well.
And playing better offense has a lot to do with that too.
Right,
I tell you, sure. Because it gives you confidence. But let's start at the front. I mean, them guys up front, the defensive line. They are really, really what I call high motor guys. They give a lot of effort and don't give up on stuff. I mean, sometimes guys break it and you got defensive end making a play, 30 yards down the field. That just tell you that them guys take pride in stopping people. This guy beside me to the right, I cannot say enough about him, and he don't want to hear me say this, but he is the backbone of our defense as far as communication, and he is what makes it go. Always line us up right, always do his job on the perimeter, so. At linebacker, Neil Foster, Jay Nurbert, who has stepped in, didn't have a lot of varsity experience going into the year, but he went to work, and he's really been a piece to the puzzle. And there's other guys I'm going to leave out, but the secondary, the way they rotate, the way they line up, the way they take pride in it. A lot of times people think we're doing a lot of pressure. We play a lot of base. He'll tell you we play a lot of base, which is just vanilla defense, and just got them reading their keys and playing really fast. That's the thing. We preach on playing really fast, because it don't matter how much we really know. It's what they can go out there and execute. And for the most part, they play really fast. And we set goals on defense. We want to stop people, and we really do that. We want to make people have to stress on offense. To exert a lot of energy to try to gain the first down. But defense is a pride thing, and we're gonna always, as long as we got breath in our lungs, we're going to always play great defense. So can't say enough about them guys.
Josh, I got to ask you, I've been, of course, watching also the Hamilton and Curry game and watching the statistics that come out every week. I've seen where your statistics have grown and grown and grown. Obviously, your communication with Sean has improved. Is that something that you guys have worked on already starting in the preseason and just kind of carried it forward?
Yes, sir.
Have as you look at your increased role in the slot and you guys producing more and more, do you think this is going to be a big factor to continue to let that grow as the postseason continues?
I really believe so.
Excellent.
Talk about playing for a guy that's your dad. How easy is that? How tough is that?
It's not really easy. he gets on us a lot.
But that's what you want. You want to be coached, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Let's talk. Same question for Cole. How is it playing for Coach Williams?
You can tell
it's time to earn brownie points. The coach is sitting right next to you.
You can tell he loves it. He's real passionate, and just his knowledge, it's just really, you couldn't ask for a better high school coach to play for.
And Cole, as a senior, what does it mean to make the playoffs and get into the postseason?
I've always wanted to play at home
Yeah.
as a senior, or not as a senior, but, in high school. And this is the year we've done it, and I've not experienced it yet, but, it's something I've looked forward to, and to keep going past this is something to look forward to as well.
We'll have more from the Pie Factory in just a few minutes. We'll talk about tomorrow night's game, the first round of the state playoffs coming up after the break. 2 minutes, we'll be back with more from the Pie Factory in historic downtown Jasper in a moment. All right, welcome back into the Pie Factory, historic downtown Jasper. Mark Palmer will be the live entertainment tonight in about an hour. Coming up in about 10 minutes, we'll talk to the Jasper Vikings. But right now, the Door Bulldogs, our featured guest, and Coach Chabas Williams joins us. Coach, let's take a look tomorrow night. I'm sure you've studied up on Good Hope, a team that y'all are familiar with. Played them last year. Got a little revenge on your mind, I'm sure, after a tough loss last year. But talk about tomorrow night's game.
Yes, sir. We were very familiar with them. Even when I was at Carbon Hill, we played them 2 years. So, Coach Alan Scott does a good job. Think a lot of him. Got a lot of respect for him. This team, when you look at the big picture, you take the record out, which we don't pay attention to anyways. Their region is very, very tough. They lost 5 games and 3 was to the top 3 in that region, which I say is really good teams. They lost to a 5A, which I know it's a different year, but Fairview, you really look at it, they went to the semifinals a year ago, so that's a good program. And they lose to a year in and year out team of Addison, at Addison, overtime. So, that definitely catches your attention, But at the end of the day, it's about my guys, what we go out and do, how we prepare. But Good Hope has a balanced team. I would say, they can run it and throw it. Defensively, they're going to be sound, in what they do. They're going to line up right. They're going to play really, really hard. So we're going to have to match their intensity. And the thing that they got the upper hand on is, the last 4 years, they played in a lot of big playoff games. You know, they won a lot of those. So this is all new to us. But like we've been preaching all week, and these two guys will tell you, we're not going to treat this game bigger than what it is. You know, it is a postseason game, and we're not going to take it for granted. You know, we're at home. We're blessed to be at home. But it's a game that's going to come down to blocking and tackling and who can take care of the football, and special teams will be a big part of it. So to sum them up, they are a really good team, and it's a really good challenge for us. We wouldn't want it no other way, but it's a good playoff atmosphere, and I'm just glad that I'm coaching these guys.
With your coach's defensive glasses on, what do they do defensively that impresses you the most? Is there a particular strength that they have, secondary linebackers, the line, that really stands out to you the most?
I would say the front seven, the way they play the run. You know, they do a good job getting guys in there, spilling, if you know what that means. They're trying to make everything bounce to their playmakers. So we got to do a good job of keeping them off guard. And you know, may have a few wrinkles, may not. You know, that's between us. But they are a pretty sound defensive team.
Coach, what has it meant to you to be back home at Dora? I mean, getting the job, and now you've guided the team to the postseason. And I know sometimes it's just it's great to be home and that calling. And talk about just being back at Dora and the administration and the support you get.
It's been better than I imagined. You know, it's been, first of all, it starts at the top. Ms. Paige Abner has been supportive of everything I've ever asked or ever needed. Don't even really have to ask for anything. It's already there. You know, and everybody else in the administration role and the teachers in the building, they're very supportive of the kids. The community itself has gotten better throughout the year. Now, we always can get better at that aspect, but winning solves a lot of problems, you know. But it's been great. The support has been great. You know, you get them text messages, and I may not be able to read all of them. They tell you my phone rings off the hook all the time. But it's been great. I wear that with a lot of pride behind it, because it is a really special place to me. And I just want to see these young men and women of that school go out in the world and be successful people at the end of the day, because I know they can. Because you got, you know, use myself for example, and many others. And you know, a lot of times we get a lot of flack over in East Walker County for, you know, some of the bad things that go on, but there are a lot of good people over there, a lot of good families, and I just want to be a small part of these young men's lives on a daily basis to show them that there are better things to do. But I've been tickled to death about being back home, me and my family, and you know, it's where I graduated from. So, you know, of course, I would love for my kids to graduate from there as well. A lot of Bulldog pride running through these veins.
That's right. Brian, anything else before we wrap up?
Guys, obviously winning the first region championship, since your coach, Johnny Wright, did it, is humongous to take away from you guys. What's been some of the memories that you'll always take with you these past couple of weeks, from A, learning that you were region champions, to B, learning you would be home for the playoffs?
I just, you know, it's flown by, this year has. Mm-hmm. So, you know, when you reflect, it's kind of hard too, because the realization of it is pretty hard. But after the Oak Grove game, you know, being in the locker room, just waiting to see when we would, or if we would, become region champions, was quite an atmosphere. And just ever since the bye week, we kind of changed our mindset a little bit, and it's just, I don't know, it's paid off, and I'm excited for the rest of it.
Josh, how much of a fun atmosphere was that when you guys found out that you guys were the region champions?
I mean, it was pretty exciting. We was all in there jumping around, happy.
Oh, I'm sure.
It probably looked like a hurricane, didn't it, Coach?
Yeah, and for me, you know, biggest, most proud moment for me is, you know, the first part of the season. You know, when we were 2-3, mm-hmm. and these guys didn't flinch. You know, that can make you more proud as a coach to see that they still come out with that same energy in practice to get better, because the outcome does not affect how we approach week to week. So just seeing that is the biggest moment of the year for me, was to see the growth throughout the year, and it's not over yet.
Absolutely.
Coach Williams, appreciate your time as always. Best of luck coming up tomorrow night against Good Hope. Of course, thanks to Cole Chapman and Josh Williams. Coach, best of luck. We're going to be following you.
Thank you. Go Dogs.
All right, very good. Coach Jasper Williams joining us here on Coach's Corner tonight from the Pie Factory. We're going to take a break, 2 minutes, and we'll be back with more and the Coach Philip Bailey Show coming up next. Welcome back in. That's going to do it for Coach's Corner. Coming up next, the Coach Philip Bailey Show. We'll have that coming up after this 30-second break. Back with more from the Pie Factory in a moment. Brett Elmore and Brian Hill back here live at the Pie Factory in historic downtown Jasper. The Coach Philip Bailey Show on the air from the Pie Factory. It's playoff time. Coach, good to see you.
Brett, good to be seen, my friend. How are you?
I am doing well, and how's the week of practice been?
It's been good, man. Our kids are excited about it. So this is the second season, man, with the playoffs. Everybody's 0-0, and it's win or go home, man. So our kids are fired up, man, ready to go.
Got a couple of players with you tonight we'll get to here in just a few minutes. Hudson Hand a sophomore, and also Trey Reese, our guest tonight with Coach. Let's talk about the last game. Homewood, the Patriots come in. Are they in the top 10 now? They were right outside.
They're pretty close to it.
Yeah, they were 11th last week, if you want to count it that way. But anyway, a region winner and a top team in Class 6A. But came in and defeated us last Friday night, 38-20. Your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, I mean, Homewood has a fine football team, and we knew that going in, man. That's a team that went 8-2 and that won their region. And kind of to that same point, man, our guys are certainly battle-tested, I mean, at this point in the year. We played 3 6A opponents in non-region play, and then the 2 5A games that we lost were region games, or the 2 of the top 5 teams in 5A. So Homewood's got a good team, man. We dug ourselves in too big of a hole early on in that game, man. You go down in the locker room 31-7, and it was too much to overcome in the second half, man. So if you really go back and look at the stats, in a lot of ways we played with them. We had more total yards than Homewood did. We ran the football for about 250 yards. We had a higher third down conversion percentage than what they did. But like I said, man, had that mistake right there before half, the fumble on offense, and then they threw the Hail Mary and connected. That was a tough deal, man. But
that was tough.
That was a tough way to go in the locker room, I can assure you.
That was tough.
Of that. But like I said, man, in a lot of ways we were able to play with them, just didn't capitalize on the things that we needed to. And then ultimately, man, their quarterback had a heck of a night. And we knew he was a heck of a ball player going into it. And I think ultimately that was one of the big differences, man. That kid was 14 of 18 for like 260 and 5 touchdowns, okay? And you look at some of the balls that he threw when our guys were in good coverage and in good positions, and then some of the places he put those balls and the catches they made, I was like, I mean, sometimes you got to tip your cap to the other fellow, man. So they were a good team, man. We, and again, there were some positives we took from it, and some things that we got to do better. But that's really, that's what I told our guys, man. Everything that happened during the regular season was a lesson learned and something to benefit you moving forward. Now that it's playoff time, everybody's 0-0. So everything that happened before that, you can close the book on it, man. And we're going to learn from it and get better moving forward.
Some of the bright spots, our player of the week, Mekhi Pletcher, 20 rushes, 103 yards, 3 touchdowns, 3 catches, 54 yards. Spencer Rosenfeld, 80 yards passing and 66 yards rushing. Talk about some of the bright spots from our team.
They were, man. So the first 2 drives that we had in the game, we were moving the ball, had gotten first downs. Yeah. And then we didn't connect on a third down. We got stopped on 2 third downs, man. I mean, it was just one thing that got us off the field. Third time we had the ball, it was a 15-play drive now. We ran it every play. We're able to go down in there and score, man. So there was times, like I said, where we ran the football effectively. We're able to sustain drives. We just got down there too much in the first half to be able to overcome it in the second half. But I think our ability to run the ball and our ability to stop the run. If you look at it, Homewood didn't really run the football effectively on our front 7. Now, the passing game was a different story. But talking about bright spots, I think our ability to run the ball and stop the run was certainly a positive takeaway from that game.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say, Coach. Obviously, in the trenches on both sides, this is a week that you obviously had to take away and say, hey, we did a pretty good job up there in the battles to create holes and then close up their holes.
Yeah, man, I was proud of the way our offensive line performed, and then also Hudson Hand, and I'll turn it over to him here in a second. But plays H-back for us, man, very versatile role. You'll see him in the backfield as a fullback, attached on the line of scrimmage as a tight end, flexed out as a receiver. He does a lot of that dirty work blocking the same way that the offensive line do, man, and he had an integral part in that. So Hudson's just a 10th grader, man. I got 2 freshmen, another 10th grader on the offensive line. So we've got some youth up there, man, and those guys have worked and continue to get better. And I thought, as far as that group, I thought they played well, in that game. So I'll turn it over to Hudson and let him talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, we certainly had a hard game. I mean, the offensive line, I might not be considered an offensive lineman, but in my eyes, I'm up there with them.
He's an offensive lineman at heart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm fighting with my brothers. I treat them like my brothers. I've spent almost 11 weeks now with them. I've grown my relationships with them, and I'm just proud that they've accepted me as a 10th grader and not looked down upon me because I'm young. Yeah. But I mean,
well, we got a lot of youth on the team, and you're one of the contributors. You look at Mekhi; he's only a 9th grader, and got a lot of youth on the team, and that's all a part of gelling together, I guess.
Definitely. I mean, whenever you grow up together, I think that in the next years, we will have something special.
Sure.
I guarantee you.
Absolutely. Trey Reese joins us as well. And Trey, talk about the season up to this point, and finally get to go to the postseason this year. Talk about that.
The season it's 5-5 season, the same they did last year. I've been talking smack with J5 and all them that graduated last year. I told them we was gonna do way better than them, and we ended up just like them. But we made it to the playoffs, so we got one more game. Not one more game, but
potentially 5 more.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
And we just gotta keep grinding, keep going.
Coach, talk about the youth on this team. I mean, look up and down, and we've got some great seniors. I know that. We recognized those guys the other night at Cairo, but man, when you look at the youth on this team and the potential for the future.
Yeah, we got a lot of young guys that have played a lot of reps in a lot of spots, especially on offense. And you mentioned it, man. We got some veterans, in some positions and some seniors. But you look at some of the guys that are coming back, man, and you get pretty excited about that, man. You mentioned Mackay, the year he's had, the ability he has. I mean, he's just a freshman, man. A lot of those linemen will be back. Colin and Taylor will be gone. Obviously, Hudson will be back. Titus will be back. G-Buzz will be back for us. Braxton Houston, JoJo, those guys will be back for us. Mason Bates will be back. So, I mean, there's a lot of guys that have played a lot of ball for us this year that are going to be back. So that's an exciting thing, man. Thankful for the seniors and the leadership that they provided for us, and glad to be in the playoffs, man, because Trey mentioned it. It's a one-game season, man. We win this one, we get another one. So we're excited about that opportunity.
We're talking about the seniors, and let me mention saw where Bubba Odom today got his first D1 offer, and congratulations to him.
Yeah, thrilled for Bubba, man. Bubba's a good ball player. He's got a lot of football in front of him. Thrilled for Bubba.
Idaho State, I think, was his first offer, so I'm sure he'll get more. But
yeah.
We're here at the Pie Factory in historic downtown Jasper. We're going to take a break. We'll come back. We'll talk more with Coach and the players after this 2-minute timeout here on WJLX. Welcome back to the Pie Factory at historic downtown Jasper. Brett Elmore, Brian Hell, Coach Philip Bailey, and also a couple of players here, Hudson Hand and Trey Reese, who both are having great seasons. Coach, Moody, pretty good football team. What have you seen on film?
They are, man. This time of year, everybody's a good football team. You know, half the teams in the state of Alabama are still playing, and half of them have turned their stuff in. So it's playoff time, man. Everybody's good, but they are. They're 9-1, man. Lost 14-13 to Leeds. They got a quarterback that's a good player. Got a running back that can really go. Got a wide out, a big, long kid. That's a good player. Left tackle is a solid player. And then defensively, man, really their whole back end is strong. They got some DBs that can play. Got a big defensive end, number 24. So, certainly got a work cut out for us. Certainly a challenge, but our guys are excited about that, man. They're embracing the opportunity that we have. We're ready to go up there and hit them in the mouth and see what happens.
Talk about what they do defensively. Are they straight man?
It's man, baby. Yeah, it's man coverage. It's going to be man free. You'll get some two-man on third and long. There's times where they're getting zero now. So they'll get hats to the box, man, straight man coverage. So we got to take our shots, and we got to win. We got to win some of those one-on-one matchups. And then we got to be able to run the football effectively and stay on the field. You know, and our kids have owned that as far as that mentality and that style of play and that physicality. We're going to hit them in the mouth, man. We're going to turn this thing into a fight and see what we can do.
What do they do offensively, Coach, that gives you the most worries?
Yeah, it's spread, man. A lot of RPOs, some different motions. Them getting loose in scramble drill, that's a concern because that quarterback can run. Those wide receivers know how to find grass, finding them in space. And then that back can go, man. They'll run a little zone, run a little GT. When he gets some clean air, man, when he gets out in space, he can go a little bit. So we got to keep him hemmed up, man, make sure he don't get going, and hopefully let that offense spend a good bit of time standing on the sideline.
What concerns you the most as far as what have we got to do to win the ball game, other than score more points?
Correct. Definitely got to do that.
What
we got to control the line of scrimmage. We got to run the football effectively, sustain drives, and stay on the field, and score the football in the red zone. You know, help our defense out, play complementary football. We got to sustain drives, not put our defense in bad spots, control the clock, and limit their snap count.
Guys, Hudson, what have you seen in film preparation that kind of concerns you, or maybe what you've seen on film?
I think that our guys are evenly matched. I think that we can go out there. I think that this game will definitely come down to who's the more physical team. And I believe that the preparation that we've put into this game, that's definitely going to be us because we have worked so hard. We've been focused, and we've been out there putting in the grind.
Trey, what do you think?
I'm thinking if we just contain the QB and don't let them do no scrimmage drills and don't let them pop off anything early on, it's going to be a good ball game. We can't let them go outside the pocket and then find a receiver that's open and get a first down. We got to get them third down, fourth downs and get off the field so the offense can come score and get up and be a good ball game. I'm ready for it.
Coach, I know there is one thing that was a big point of concern all of last year and all the times that I've seen it this year. Thankfully, it's not only been solved, but they've done a great job of it. The center snap was such a nightmare during the spring game. This time I have, all throughout this year, the few games that I've covered and what I've seen from you guys, that problem thankfully got rectified, and they've done a great job with it this year.
They have, man. Proud of those guys. So, you know, Dalton Dawkins was a kid who had played center for us last year and was obviously really good and really consistent at snapping the football. And you can take that for granted now when you don't have it. So had some growing pains in the spring, you know, working through some things and trying some other guys out at that spot. But and you've seen several different guys with their hand on the ball this year. You've seen Drake Britt. You've seen Braxton Houston at times, who plays more D-line for us than anything else, but he's played games at center, and then you've seen Taylor Eads as of late. So a couple hiccups here and there, but for the most part, we have not had center quarterback exchange issues, which you can't now. You can't operate effectively and efficiently on offense having snap issues. So I think those guys have done a good job. They've continued to get better and really own how important of a job that is. So, yes, credit to those guys doing a much better job with that, certainly.
Coach, at this time of the season, you always got to think about injuries. How's the injury situation?
Yeah, everybody's beat up this time of year as far as every team in the state's beat up. We're pretty fortunate, man. We're full strength. I mean, outside of Drake Britt, who I had mentioned, you know, he broke his leg in the Pleasant Grove game. So he'll be out, you know, but everybody else is back. Bubba Odom missed a couple weeks, had an infection deal. He's back. He's healthy. He's ready to go. Mason Bates who missed last week. He's back ready to go. We got a couple guys with some nagging things that you just got to play with, man. You know what I mean? And you just got to go with it. That's what happens this time of year, man. So, but everybody's back. We're at full strength, so we're excited, man. Ready to tee this thing up and get going.
Coach, talk about the play of Spencer Rosenfeld. Of course, had a couple of things earlier in the season.
Sure.
And he's gotten on track, and it seems like he's developed into just a great quarterback, and he is deceptively fast.
He's not deceptively fast. He is fast.
Yeah, I mean, when I was looking at him, I was like, this guy's taking off with the football, and I thought, man, he just hit, fourth gear.
Yeah, Spence can run now. He gets out
run.
of some clean air. He can go.
And but just talk about his senior leadership and kind of his play this year.
He did, man. Had some adversity early on,
Sure.
and he's bounced back from that. And really proud of him and how he's handled that, and he's done a good job. I think he's thrown one interception all year long. In that, so as far as taking care of the football, but what he brings to the table with his arm and with his feet, man, he's difficult to defend, and he does a good job for us. So certainly expecting a big game from him, and big things from him moving forward as well.
All right, we're going to take our second break. When we come back, we'll wrap it up with the coach here from the Pie Factory in historic downtown Jasper on WJLX. Back live at the Pie Factory in historic downtown Jasper. We're just minutes away from the Coach Nick Saban show. We'll send it live to Tuscaloosa at the top of the hour. The Tide has a small matchup coming up Saturday night with LSU.
Pivotal.
So y'all use us as a primer for Coach Saban. Is that basically how it goes? Which is fine,
He listens to the
I'm
show.
Certain,
on the way to his show.
Yeah, that's a top 10 matchup down there in Death Valley, man. Yeah. Nobody's giving LSU much of a chance, but that's a tough place to play.
Well, that is a tough place to play. No. Alabama has played fairly well there, though.
They have. The bigger surprise to me is that the number one team in the country is an 8-point underdog this weekend.
Yeah, Tennessee. The Volunteers are number one, and of course you're an Auburn guy.
Well, I'm from Auburn. I'm a Jasper Viking guy, Brett.
Oh, okay. All right. So I
come on. I would get that squared away.
Hey, I wouldn't want that label either. Trust me.
Tough times down there right now.
Man, tough times. Yeah. I'll tell you
Coach
what.
Prime is on the way. You heard it here first.
You think so?
I really do. I think he'll be the one. Brian's over here shaking his head. Do you think Deion would do a good job at Auburn?
I think he would. The problem is right now is before they get a head coach, Auburn needs to get patience because it's going to take a little while to rebuild stuff, and it's not just transfer portal. The 18th and 22nd recruiting classes over the past couple of years they need an ace recruiter in there before the transfer
Well, there's
portal.
no doubt about that. But the game has kind of changed, man. It doesn't
has.
take as long with the transfer portal. As depleted as that roster is, as many kids as left, as many kids that are going to leave, they can go get a bunch of them out of the portal, man. So the other name going around, Lane Kiffin, he brought how many out of the portal last year to Ole Miss? Like 20-something? It's more than anybody in the country. So you can get it back going a lot faster. I don't know. We'll see.
He's not going to Auburn. That's a lateral, if best, move.
No, I
About
think
to
he
throw
would
a whole
probably
lot of money at it.
I think he would probably be looking to see what happens with Fisher over at Texas A&M because that's ready-made talent.
Yeah, that's true. Well, Coach, as far as the Jasper Vikings are concerned, what do we need to know tomorrow night's game? No internet over there, so you better download your tickets before you get to the stadium.
Yes, game will be at Moody, so playoffs, all tickets are through GoFan. There will be no cash at the gate. I do think they have a card reader at the gate if you want to pay with a credit card, but get your tickets on GoFan. And you mentioned it, there is no cell phone service in that area, so once you purchase your ticket off of GoFan, download that ticket to your phone so that it can be scanned. So need a big crowd going with us, man. Had a bonfire pep rally over at the school, just came from that. That was a great deal. Everybody's excited. Shout out to Alabama Secretary of State John Merrill, who was with us today. Came and spoke to our team.
Nice.
Yeah, he was in
Nice.
this area doing some campaigning. Him and Coach Prothrow are from the same hometown. They're both from Heflin. Yep.
Sweet.
So had a connection there. And then he was also connected to Coach Butler. Somehow or another, Coach Butler had talked to him. Anyway, he came and visited with our team a little bit, which was great, man. It's great for them to hear from somebody like that holds an office like that. I mean, the Secretary of State of Alabama, that's a big deal, man. So that was great. But, yeah, need a big crowd going with us to Moody, man. We're going to go hit them in the mouth. Need as much of Jasper coming with us as we can.
Our fans normally travel really well.
We do travel extremely well, man. We got great support here in this community, and I certainly expect we'll have a lot of them with us for this first-round playoff game.
Coach, best of luck, and look forward to seeing you tomorrow night.
Hey, no doubt. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Look forward to being back here with you next week.
All
Appreciate
right,
it.
very good.
Go
Thank
Vikes.
you. Thank you. Go Vikes. Coach Philip Bailey on his program here at the Pie Factory. Our thanks again to Mr. Hand and Mr. Reese, who joins us here tonight as well. Brian, playoff party begins tomorrow, and we got some teams in the Walwyn area ready to play and ready for the second season, I guess.
That's right. We're down to 7. Hopefully this time next week we'll be around the same number, hopefully.
I hope so, too. All right, we're going to wrap up just a few minutes early. They have a function here at the Pie Factory they're getting set up for. We invite you to come out. They have live music at 7:30 tonight. If you're looking for dinner, come on by and see us. The Nick Saban Show is coming up next. We'll see you tomorrow from Moody, Alabama. For Sebastian Black, back to studio, our producer and engineer, and for Brian Hill, I'm Brett Elmore saying good night from the Pie Factory.